The Galactic Military Academy had stood for 3,000 years, its crystalline spires reaching toward the stars like fingers of ambition. Within its halls, the finest warriors from across the galaxy honed their skills under the tutelage of legendary instructors. The Catherian War Masters with their forearms and tactical brilliance. The silicon-based Vorthak, who could calculate trajectories in their sleep. The psychic Eldrani, who anticipated enemy movements before they were even conceived. And then came Marcus Chen. Commander Zixathala clicked her mandibles in what passed for amusement among her species as she reviewed the human's application. Such a peculiar creature, bipedal, soft-skinned, with those strange forward-facing eyes that suggested a predator ancestry. The Terrans had only recently joined the Galactic Federation, their primitive chemical rockets barely qualifying as spaceflight technology. "Another charity case," muttered Instructor Krellnox, his scaled hide shimmering with disdain. The Council's diversity initiatives grow more absurd each cycle. Marcus arrived on orientation day carrying nothing but a simple duffel bag and wearing what appeared to be an archaic military uniform from his homeworld. The other cadets, towering Zentorians, sleek aquatic Merhai, and crystalline Silthek, regarded him with mixtures of curiosity and contempt. At 1.8 meters tall, he was dwarfed by most of his peers. The first trial was physical endurance. The course had been designed to challenge beings with enhanced lung capacity, multiple hearts, or electromagnetic energy cores. Marcus simply ran. When the Zentorians began flagging despite their 3-meter strides when the Silthek started overheating their crystal matrices, Marcus kept running. His breathing remained steady, his pace unchanged. He finished third, respectable but unremarkable. "Persistence hunting," he explained later to his confused bunkmates. "My species used to chase prey across entire continents until they collapsed, from exhaustion. We're built for endurance, not speed." The tactical simulations were where things became interesting. The scenarios were classics, studied by military minds for millennia. The defense of Kepler Station, the siege of the Magellan, Gates, the Battle of the Void Serpent, each had optimal solutions, well-documented strategies that cadets were expected to memorize and execute with minor variations. Marcus ignored them entirely. In the Kepler Station simulation, instead of reinforcing the 3 traditional choke points, he deliberately weakened the 4th. When the simulated enemy forces predictably exploited this mistake, they found themselves in a carefully prepared kill zone. The entire enemy fleet was eliminated with minimal friendly casualties. Instructor Voltar, a veteran of 17 actual campaigns, stared at the results in disbelief. "This is unprecedented. How did you know they would take that route?" Marcus shrugged, a gesture that had become familiar to his instructors. "You told us they were logical tacticians. Logical beings take the path of least resistance. I made sure the path I wanted them to take looked like the easiest." But it was during the leadership exercises that Marcus truly distinguished himself. The Academy's philosophy emphasized leading from strength, display superiority, demand obedience, crush dissent. It had worked for millennia across countless species. Humans apparently had different ideas. When assigned to lead a mixed species squad through a hostile territory simulation, Marcus did something unprecedented. He asked for their input. The proud Catherian warrior was initially insulted by the request for her opinion. The methodical Vorthak was confused by the concept of collaborative planning, but Marcus listened to each perspective, synthesized their strengths, and formulated a strategy that played to every member's abilities. They didn't just complete the mission, they achieved a perfect score. "Leadership through consensus?" Instructor Zixthal mused, reviewing the exercise. "Preposterous. How can decisions be made efficiently when everyone has input?" Yet the results spoke for themselves. Marcus's teams consistently outperformed their peers. More importantly, his squad mates began requesting to work with him again. Morale in his units was unprecedented. The breaking point came during the final examination, a week-long war game pitting the top cadets against the Academy's instructors themselves. It was intended as a learning experience. The students would lose, but would gain valuable insights into advanced tactics. Marcus was chosen as overall commander for the cadet forces. The instructors began with overwhelming confidence. They had centuries of combined experience, advanced weapons, and superior positioning. The engagement should have ended within hours. It lasted 5 days. Marcus didn't try to match the instructors' conventional superiority. Instead, he studied their patterns, their assumptions, their very psychology. Catherian warriors valued honor above efficiency, so he gave them honorable single combat while his real forces maneuvered around them. Vorthak tacticians relied on computational models, so he introduced variables that couldn't be calculated, like deliberately irrational troop movements that served larger strategic purposes. Most crucially, he did something that violated every principle of galactic warfare. He changed tactics not hourly or daily, but constantly. The moment an instructor adapted to one approach, Marcus had already shifted to another. His forces became unpredictable not through chaos but through systematic adaptability. When the simulation ended with the instructor's complete annihilation, the academy fell silent. "How?" demanded Commander Zixithala. "Our strategies have been refined over millennia. Our tactics are proven across thousands of campaigns." Marcus considered his words carefully. "You're all excellent at what you do, but you're excellent at doing the same things your species have always done. Humans. We're persistence hunters, remember? We don't give up and we don't stop adapting. On Earth, we've been fighting ourselves for our entire history. Every tactic we develop, someone else learns to counter, so we learn to think differently." The graduation ceremony was unlike any in the Academy's history. Marcus received his commission as expected. What shocked the gathered dignitaries was the announcement that followed. "By unanimous vote of the instructional staff," declared the Academy's Commandant, Cadet Marcus Chen will remain at the Academy not as a graduate but as Senior Instructor of Adaptive Tactics. Furthermore, he will lead a new program training our current instructors in unconventional warfare methodologies. As Marcus stood at attention, watching his former instructors file past to receive their new training schedules, he allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had joined the galactic community as the smallest, weakest member, but they'd brought something precious, the hard-earned wisdom that strength wasn't about being the biggest, or fastest, or smartest. Sometimes it was simply about refusing to quit learning. The galaxy, Marcus reflected, was about to become a much more interesting place.